This video focuses on some of the available heat exchanger models on VapCyc. These models are available as both evaporator and condenser models. The heat exchanger models this video focuses on are the CoilDesigner reader component, the CoilDesigner tube-in-tube heat exchanger reader, and the generic heat exchanger. The CoilDesigner reader component allows the user to select and use components that were made in CoilDesigner. The CoilDesigner file reader utilizes the CoilDesigner solver, so a coil run in VapCyc will yield identical results to a coil run in CoilDesigner. This component model supports two fin heat exchangers, parallel flow microchannel heat exchangers, and serpentine flow microchannel heat exchangers. There are some sample components available in the CoilDesigner software package. To select the sample component, go to Browse, select your computer, Program Files x86, UMCP CEEE, CoilDesigner, Samples. We will be using a tube fin heat exchanger for this example. In this case, an evaporator was selected, so the CoilDesigner component we will choose is the one labeled evap. Once a CoilDesigner file is selected and loaded into VapCyc, all the properties from the file are shown in the Edit window. A user can modify any parameters from the VapCyc interface, and these parameters will change just for the cycle. This will not affect the original file. However, you can also save these newly modified parameters to a new file. The CoilDesigner tube-in-tube heat exchanger reader is similar to the previous CoilDesigner reader component, except it is specifically for tube-in-tube heat exchangers. A sample component can be selected by once again going to Browse, clicking on your computer, Program Files x86, UMCP CEE, CoilDesigner, Samples, and then the tube-in-tube folder. This example is a condenser, so we will choose the R134A-smooth-condenser example. After the file is loaded into VapCyc, the user can once again modify any parameter just for the cycle. This will not affect the original file, and you can also save these newly modified parameters as a new file. The generic heat exchanger is a simple UA-based single-segment model. The pressure drop or mass flow rate is calculated using only the inlet conditions. Once selected, a user enters parameters such as tube length, number of parallel tubes, inner tube diameter, air inlet temperature, air mass flow rate, fin efficiency, and fin ratio under the Heat Exchanger Properties tab. A user can also choose a pre-site heat exchanger if they have an expected capacity in mind, and the drop-down menu provides some variety of different refrigerants, heat exchanger types, and capacities. Under the Material Properties tab, a user can enter tube and fin material densities and tube and fin material cost, and under the Heat Transfer tab, a user can enter air side and refrigerant side heat transfer coefficients. For more information on these heat exchangers, please refer to our second video on VapCyc heat exchangers on our Optimized Thermal Systems website. And for more information on these heat exchangers, please refer to our third video on VapCyc heat exchangers on our Optimized Thermal Systems website.